Hi, everyone. Welcome to our new episode of First Friday Showcase. Last episode, we spoke about specific webinar events that were going out throughout last month and actually featured one of our KUSBDC consultants, John Dever, and he gave some insight on business startups and exactly what they should focus on when starting out. During this episode, we'll talk about new events going out throughout this month, along with featuring the Business Skills for Success 8-week program series, which did take place in the spring of this past semester and will be taking place again in this upcoming fall. And one of the events we have going on this month is Social Media and the Law, which will be taking place on Wednesday, July 21st from 2 to 3 p.m. And that will be co-presented by the KUSBDC as well as the Penn State Legal Clinic. And some of the topics covered throughout this webinar will be customer data privacy, media consent forms, and social media ads. There will be other topics, but those are primarily the three ones. And the next event, one of the other events we have going on this month is the first step to starting your business, which is the one we have going on every month. And that will be Tuesday, July 13th from 1 p.m. to 2. And that will be co-presented as well by the Penn State Legal Clinic and the SBA. And this webinar is kind of meant for business startups or business that are still in the early stages. And some of the topics covered throughout this webinar will be anything from legal to financing to entities, as well as free resources at this time. And next up will be our KUSBDC feature, which is the Business Skills for Success 8-week program series. And like I mentioned before, that took place this past spring semester, and it is planned to be taking place this upcoming fall semester as well. And this 8-week program series is meant for early stage and existing business owners who really want to take their business to the next level. So I have on here Isamac and Kecia, and I just wanted to ask you guys, a couple of questions regarding the Business Skills for Success 8-week program.
Sure. Thank you, Matthew. My name is Kecia Sturdivant. I'm the Assistant Director here at Kutztown Small Business Development Center. The question is as far as the 8-week skills for success. As Matthew mentioned, we just ran a program. We're looking to start a new one in the fall, just giving the entrepreneurs an option to really take a deep dive into their business. So either they're going to start their business or they're currently in business today and they're looking for the opportunity to kind of take their business to the next level. So during the 8-week session, we really try to find out what is it that the entrepreneur really wants to know. Based on that, we will develop a plan based on the entrepreneur. So each class is very unique and engaging. And Isamac can talk a little later, but our previous class, it was just awesome to see, the entrepreneurs and how they really connected to one another. So again, looking for, the opportunity in the fall, to work with our entrepreneurs to have that unique opportunity as they navigate their business.
Nice, nice. And so the first question that we have is um, regarding, the small business owners that will be attending, the 8-week program. What is one tip that you believe that would be most beneficial or useful to them?
Sure. So thank you again. So one of the things that I highly recommend is really having a business plan. It's imperative that the business owner has a plan in place. A lot of us are so busy, entrepreneurs are busy, but the bottom line is they need to have a plan in place, and not only just having that plan A, plan A, B, C, and D. In the event, for example, like COVID happened, right? So being able to reevaluate their plan very quickly and to again navigate through the changes that may occur. And one of the things we encourage is them looking at almost a SWOT analysis, right? Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So it's really important for them to understand, the ins and outs of their business and have a well-developed plan. And we will provide those tools and help them on a one-on-one basis.
With the SWOT analysis, what do you think for business owners today? Which one do you think, out of the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, which one do you think maybe is the most, if they had to focus on just one or just two, of those, which ones would you kind of say are most critical?
I want to say the main one is probably, again, holistic, looking at the whole kind of platform, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. But again, keeping in mind, the threats, with COVID, for example, just really how it completely changed and turned businesses upside down. Some unfortunately had to close their doors, just revamp their marketing plans. So definitely looking at the threats and not just looking at it, once every 6 months, a year, but really assessing, as they're going out their daily business.
Yeah, and maybe even being able to project potential threats in the future and being prepared
I
for
agree.
Right.
things that you won't even be able to.
And that's a great point you brought up, Kecia, because with the negative impact of COVID-19, many things have changed and they're still currently changing. Things are just slowly going back to normal, but it's not normal just yet. And, with things getting better, like you mentioned, small businesses constantly have to reassess their business plans, which means they constantly have to perform those SWOT analysis because everything's just changing. So that's a great point that you mentioned with the threat of the pandemic.
A- And if I could add, good afternoon. Thanks to Matt and to Zach, both of you, for affording our community, our business community, this podcast, because it really connects information and resources to our small business communities in Pennsylvania. My name is Isamac Torres-Figueroa. I'm a business consultant at the Kutztown University Small Business Development Center. And like Kecia, we work together on offering the 8-week Business Skills for Success program. And we have them twice a year. And one of the tips I would give someone that is thinking about registering and signing up for our upcoming class is that, keep an open mind. It is 8 weeks. There are various topics that we offer each and every course. We do our best to tailor it based on the needs of the actual class. We get that analysis after the first week to give us an idea of what each and every individual is looking to gain. But it is 8 weeks. It's 2 months out of their lives. It's one night a week, and we do with the intent of providing them as much information and connecting them with key, leaders within industry, within other areas of business, experts in operations, maybe individuals that can assist them in how do I start a business in, let's say, the city of Reading or the city of Coatesville, as an example. So my tip to individuals would be just stay the course, stay committed. Know that the information that you're going to receive is going to benefit you at any step of the process when you're starting a business or continuing to grow business.
No, thanks for that, Isamac. I totally agree. And when I originally asked, the one tip or piece of advice that small business owners would find most valuable or useful, to follow up on that, what would you recommend or what would you say is the first step in defining a business for the those business startups or those people out there that are still in the early stages?
The first step really is understanding, what business you're looking to create and develop. And here at the Kutztown University Small Business Development Center, Kecia has been doing this many more years than I have, but we have a poster that really takes the actual entrepreneur or pre-venture individual, someone that has an idea and wants to take the idea and then actually create a business from that idea. It's called the business canvas model. So that business canvas model really gets the individual to start thinking about, okay, you have this idea, you have either this product or service that you want to put out in the marketplace. Well, who are you selling this product or this product or service to in the market? So you want to understand who your demographics are, who you're serving, your target market. And then you also understand who's your competition within that area that you're looking to build this business. And as Kecia said, and she can speak to this, what's your secret sauce? What's going to be the differential maker between you and your competitor? What differentiates you and the competition? So these are the things that are very important. These are the things that we walk individuals through when they're taking an idea and looking to start a business. This business canvas model is an excellent tool that we use to help those individuals.
Right. And as you mentioned, that Kecia has always brought up is, what's your secret sauce and what exactly differentiates you versus your competition. And an example in business that's always brought up is, Dunkin' versus Starbucks, specifically regarding how Starbucks, is quite a bit more expensive than Dunkin', and consumers realize that. But what differentiates them from Dunkin' is the quality of their coffee, and customers happen to like that price point for the coffee that's offered. I mean, Starbucks has been extremely successful. So, their pricing might be high, but it's obviously working because, look where they're at now. And with that high price of a cup of coffee comes with the good quality. So that's exactly what their secret sauce is versus Dunkin'.
Yes, and it's all about the secret sauce, as we've talked about in the past. And it's funny, I taught a class last night with Coatesville, and that's what it came down to. We went through and talked to each entrepreneur and said, okay, what makes you so different, right? Why should I purchase from you versus Isamac or Zach or Matthew? What is kind of propelling your business to really that clients want to come to you, and also come back and tell other people, about the products or services that you have to offer.
Right. Another good point to bring up as well, which you can relate this to Starbucks too, is, when Starbucks first started, or at least when they first started to make their price points for their, coffee products really high, one thing they probably asked themselves is, how sustainable could this be? Because, that's one thing you definitely should ask yourself when determining pricing of a service or a product, because if the consumer is not a fan of the price or doesn't see the worthiness, you won't be, sustainable for much long. So that's, one thing you really have to ask yourself when starting out as a business is, is this sustainable?
Well, and that's a great point, Matt, with regards to is this sustainable? Folks, as long as they do their research and they do a lot of the planning, as Kecia and have told our previous classes, planning and preparation is going to be key to being able to have a successful business, right? The pricing, I'm more than sure Starbucks looked at the data for some time before they really decided what their prices would be for their various types of coffee products. And coffee is, besides water, the most consumed. I think it's actually water, tea, then coffee, because I just had to do this for an actual client. It's one of the top 5 consumable drinks in the world. And Starbucks definitely has made their position a very strong position within the marketplace globally. I myself I drink both. When I'm at Target, it's convenient to grab a cup of Joe from Starbucks, right? But when I'm on the road, the one I go to is going to be Dunkin'. And I prefer, to be honest with you, Dunkin' Donuts. That's what I grew up on. But both have thrived and done very well across the board. And the reason is because they're serving a specific target market and they've been serving it well. Another thing to consider when you're talking about what are the first defining steps of starting a business, when you look to launch your business, you have to not only have all the data, right? Put the business plan together, put a marketing plan together, understand who your target market is going to be. Who are your competitors? You also have to look at the financial piece. That is pretty much the engine of any business, be it a brick and mortar business or an e-commerce business. How, in order to make a business sustainable, you have to have access to capital. And one of the things I talk about with my clients is this business idea, this business model sustainable, but is it financeable? That's the first thing. Is it financeable? And in order to be financeable, are you credit worthy? Are you credit ready to be able to go after the financing to start this business? These are the things that we discussed during the 8-week business course.
Yeah, thank you, Isamac. And as you were talking about that, one of the things that I also bring up, the business owners have to ask the question, is this a hobby, right? Or is it an actual sustainable business? So, going through our program, it gives the entrepreneurs the opportunity to see, does it make sense, again, to Isamac's point as far as financing, is it just a hobby that I do, can I make a living on this? So it's important, to go through those steps. And I actually I'm in my office, the business model canvas, which I mentioned, last night in my class, which I didn't have, but every entrepreneur actually gets this. Is probably not a good view, but we definitely can, share that with you, where you're looking at, your competition, who your customers are, the financial piece, of course, and managing it on a daily basis. Entrepreneurs are really just given the opportunity, to understand the ins and outs. Owning a business is not an 8 to 4, and that's it. It's intense, and a lot of our entrepreneurs really get to see that in our classes. We've had the great opportunity to bring in business owners to show us, their business. Since we're virtual, we have one client right there in Reading that she had her phone and she walked around and showed the improvements that, her reason, her why behind starting her business. So just phenomenal, great information, to help with our entrepreneurs as they go through managing their business.
Excellent. Yeah, I think it's one thing to have, an idea or a hobby that you enjoy and you think, oh, maybe I can, make something out of this. And then you realize, right, all that needs to go into it. So this 8-week program really, I think, helps a business owner or potential business owner realize what it's all about. And speaking of finances, is there a cost to this program? And do you need to live in like a particular area? Could you guys kind of go into that a little bit and talk about the specifics or the credentials to attend?
Sure, Zach. If it's okay, Kecia, I'll take the
Sure.
first,
Go ahead.
and you can mention if they have to be, where within the state of Pennsylvania do they need to be in order to participate. So there is a cost, as in anything, we want to, at Kutztown, University SBDC, make sure that each and every registrant is making a commitment, and is a serious commitment, because it's 8 weeks of our time and our experts' time delivering information and resources to each participant. So, but it's a small fee, but nonetheless, it is one. It's $25 for the series, but it's like looking at investing in yourself and in the business. And I think $25 is a nice amount, and it's lower in comparison to some other business programs out there that are private business programs. But nonetheless, the amount of assistance that we afford each and every one of our participants is invaluable. You can't put a price on that.
Right. It's a 2-month program, 8 weeks.
Yes, $25. That's basically saying that for $25. I mean, I know some programs that just the registration fee could be $50. But for us, is we want to make sure that we retain those who register and they know that that's their commitment. You've got to put something towards those 8 weeks, and $25 is a decent amount.
Yep, well said, Isamac, and I totally agree. Usually the fee is $50, but due to COVID, doing a lot of webinars, we definitely cut that cost in half. And it's really about the commitment, from the entrepreneur, just making sure they're committed to the program, and taking in all the resources and training and tools and best practices that we can offer. In reference to Matthew's question, in reference to must you live in the city of Reading? Absolutely not. Our arms are open. We provide services in 5 counties, and we are open to, servicing clients, within the county. We actually, from our last class, we have some kind of outside, but that's okay. Again, it's just an opportunity, for entrepreneurs to learn about, running a business, the best practices, getting, again, we bring in the experts for QuickBooks and just different areas, to help the entrepreneur based on what they're looking for. So again, our doors are open. Either it's in person, usually it's at the Reading Chamber, and we also offer a hybrid program, where some folks are in the conference room, the boardroom, and then others are online. So we're flexible. And again, really, we want to just get the word out to entrepreneurs that we're here as a resource and an asset to them with launching their business or continuing to build their business.
I think it's great to have the option, right, to be there in person, or if you live farther away, you don't want to make the drive every week, you can join remote. So that's going to kind of wrap it up for our discussion on that program. Thank you guys for talking. Really appreciate it having you on here. Next,
Yes,
I'm going to kind of go ahead, Matt.
No, I was just saying thank you, Kecia and Isamac. I appreciate the information on promoting the the program, the 8-week program that will be going on in the fall.
Oh,
Anytime.
you're
We
welcome.
completely enjoyed it. And we are known, the SBDC, across the board as the best kept secret. Again, we're here to help businesses start, grow, and prosper. And we look forward to continue offering programming to everyone. So thank you for the opportunity.
Of
Yes,
course.
absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you both for offering this webinar, this podcast to
Yeah.
folks. They can learn more about the center and our staff of consultants, as well as graduate assistants like yourselves. Our centers are powered by graduate assistants. Without them, we wouldn't be able to deliver at the rate that we do for our clients. So thank you both, Matt and Zach.
Of course.
Yes, thank you.
Of course.
Yep. And I'm going to briefly talk here about the Consultant Corner, which is a new feature for the PA SBDC, where we feature a consultant from different small business development centers across Pennsylvania. And last month, we had Jacob Jones from Gannon University SBDC, and he has been with the Gannon University SBDC since September 2018, so about 3 years. He is a Gannon University graduate. He graduated with a Bachelor's of Arts in Political Science and a Master's in Political Administration. And to the Development Center, he brings over 8 years of experience in sales, management, and organizational leadership. And if you want to know any more about PA SBDC consultants or more about the Consultant Corner in general, feel free to subscribe to our newsletter. And the links to that can be found on our website, pasbdc.org. So look forward to that every month. And I'm going to throw it back over to Matt now to kind of recap the episode and talk about a few things.
So I want to thank all of our listeners and viewers for tuning in into our third episode of the First Friday Showcase. Our next episode will be the first Friday of next month, so August 6th. That will be that first Friday, and it will include obviously new events that are going on along throughout the month of August, and there'll be a new feature from the KUSBDC, so that could be either a topic or one of our consultants would join us. And to view all of our trainings that we spoke about today, as well as other trainings that you might find, please visit our website, which is pasbdc.ecenterdirect.com. And again, that is pasbdc.ecenterdirect.com. And on there, you'll see all the training events you can register for. And there, not just for this month, there are a couple of going on later on throughout the summer. And that is all for now. So until next time, everyone, thank you for tuning in.